Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the 5 best multi-farms. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we're going to be going over the 5 best multi-farms. Multi-farms, as a quick summary, is the combination of either 2 professions or 2 different farming styles. For this one in particular, this is mainly herbalism and mining, so this will require your one character to have herbalism and mining, and quite prevalently this is done on a druid. Either or, the class doesn't really matter, but it's just nice to summarise it. Other than that, let's get into number 1. Coming in at number 1, and no surprise, which is my all-time favourite actually, is the Whiptail and Pyrite ore farm. This one is located within Oldham, and quite often or not you will be wanting to use the Dark Moon Firewater Potion, as the respawn rates on this are pretty dang high and you are never going to run out of nodes, so the faster you can gather them up, the more you'll get per hour. Overall, the Whiptail and Pyrite ore farm is very easy in order to do. It's just making your way down the river and back up again, then going along the ridge and then getting back to the other side of the river. The river is built as a Y shape, so you can use that top left hand Y and then make your way over along the ridge to get to the right hand side and then make your way down the river again. You're going to get quite a lot of Elementium ore, volatiles, Whiptail and Pyrite ore from this actual farm, and this is where it derives its value, is because you can get an insane amount of materials for an hour's worth of farming, and overall is quite steady in the way of its sell rate when it comes towards all of these materials. You should be able to pull in a sizable amount of gold through an hour's worth of farming, and in combination with Druid, for their herbalism, you won't have to dismount in order to pick herbs. Failing that, you can always use a Sky Golem as well. That being said, let's move on to our next one at number 2, which is the Heart Blossom and Elementium farm in Deepholm. Now, within Deepholm, you're going to be wanting to get there either through Stormwind or Orgrimmar portals, and this will take you directly to Deepholm. For this particular farm, there's not really a defined route, as it's mainly just flying around in a circle. What you'll be wanting to do is picking up Cinderbloom, Heart Blossom, Elementium ore, and all of that jazz. You'll be getting a lot of volatiles with that, and overall you're going to be getting quite a lot of gold's worth of value through this. All of these materials sell for a decent chunk of gold, and overall this actually does come up to a nice gold per hour in the long run. The thing of note that you may want to consider is Heart Blossom, and that is mainly due to the fact that you can it's sometimes more cost effective to mill this into its respective pigments for Cataclysm and sell that on the auction house, or use that for glyph production. Aside from all of that, you can just sell the materials directly on the auction house, but it's just a nice little side note that you may want to consider when you're actually doing this farm. Aside from that, I found that this is by far one of the most easiest and most effective farms that you can do at this moment in time, as there's little to no competition when actually doing this. It's the fact that not many people go to Deepholm in the grand scheme of things, so that is why I put it at number 2 on this list. Now, coming in at number 3 is the Titanium Ore and Lich Bloom farm. This one is located within Wintergrasp, and this will require you to go to Northrend. When you're in Wintergrasp, you'll want to fly around the actual zone of Wintergrasp, obviously, and then farm up the Titanium ore and Lich Bloom dotted around the area. You're going to get a lot of Eternals from this, as well as Titanium ore, Saronite ore, Lich Bloom, and a load of all of the other different types of Wrath based herbs. This is because Wintergrasp is the combination of a load of zones, and that means that you can get lots of different types of herbs when actually doing this farm, so you'll be able to pull in a nice sizable amount of gold through this. The only things that you need to bear in mind is that this does go into PvP combat, and the only way I can circumvent being dismounted when a battle is actually occurring is by dismounting in mid-air and then remounting in the air to actually remove the debuff before I get dismounted and get given a parachute. This is done by using a druid, but if with most other classes you will have to zone into another area of Wintergrasp and then remount and then start flying again. So overall it's much more effective if you use a druid for this particular farm. Another little side note is that if you do go too fast, some of the nodes won't actually respawn, so it's better to pace yourself with this particular farm, and overall this shouldn't take you overly that long to pick up a sizable amount of gold to sell on the auction house. Overall you can also, with the amount of Eternals and also titanium ore, you can also smelt this into titan steel bars, which you can sell on for a tidy profit as well. So that is one little side note that you can actually also do. One other thing that I keep overlooking is that the mobs in this zone are at level 60 at the moment, and they do hit reasonably hard. It's just really annoying when you're trying to actually farm up these materials, so it's better off knowing that that is the case and just being aware that these mobs are level 60 and they will just go straight and attack you at this point in time. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much the Wintergrass farm at number 3. Coming in at number 4 is the Azsharas Vale farm, and this one is also in conjunction with the Obsidian ore farm. This is where you'll want to go over to Vashir, which is just off the coast of the Eastern Kingdoms, and make your way over to the Abyssal Depths. This is the best farming location for Azsharas Vale and also Obsidian ore. What you're going to be wanting to do is take the original Azsharas Vale route, which is also within WorthIt if you would like the routes just imported. What you're going to be wanting to do here is, by farming the Azsharas Vale route and picking up all of the obsidian ore and Azsharas Vale dotted around, you also do get Stormvine as well. A little side note that you can also do is that one spawn location there, right at the back part of this particular route, spawn location for the world boss of Poseidus, which drops 100% Reigns of Poseidus mount. So better off doing this early in the morning, as you can probably snag yourself an extra 3,000 to 5,000 gold worth of a mount that you can sell on the auction house as well. But overall, obsidian ore and Azsharas Vale usually go for a high amount of gold, and this is definitely a very good multi-farm in order to do, as not many people go to Vashir anymore, so you can pick up quite a lot of gold's worth of materials to sell on the auction house. That being said, let's move over to our last and final one at number 5, which is Arcane Crystals and Golden Sandstone. This one is located within Silithus, and what you're going to be wanting to do here is flying around the edge of the actual zone. There's nothing really in particular special about this actual farm. All you would really need to do is pop yourself a Dark Moon Firewater potion and just run around the outside of the actual zone and just picking up all of the herbs and ores that come along with this. Remember that the ore for the thorium ore isn't actually the price point for the mining side. Where it actually derives its value is from arcane crystals from this actual zone. So therefore, if you are wanting to do something along those lines, then you're going to be wanting to get a hold of arcane crystals. Side note for this actual multi-farm is that you can actually get the thorium ore, turn those into bars, as well as your arcane crystals, and then use those with an alchemist to turn into arcanite bars, which can usually go for a profit. So you can near on make additional gold through that, especially if you have a transmutation master on your alchemist in order to do that. Overall, this is a really simplistic farm in order to do, and it's by far one of the best ones that you can do as well. So it's got the simplicity of the farming route as well as a high gold per hour, which makes it number 5 on this list. Other than that, guys, that is my pick for the 5 best multi-farms that you can do right now. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.
If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.
Yeah.